You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick with CBT News. Each week on CBT News, our very own Steve Greenfield, the CEO and founder of Automotive Ventures, offers a forward-looking perspective and analysis on the evolving landscape of retail automotive. Steve has been a go-to source for industry professionals, so today we're catching up with him here in the studio to find out what he's been up to and learning about the future of the industry. He's literally written the book on it. So Steve, thank you so much for taking the time in your schedule, and thank you for all of the incredible content that you give us here at CBT News. Your show is always among the highest viewed, so thank you, and hopefully we can keep this going in 2024.
I think I'm in the wrong seat.
You are in the wrong seat. That's right. I should be over there. But I do want to ask you, first and foremost, how's your business doing? I mean, you've now had the fund for how long?
Yeah, so we've been investing for 3 years,
okay,
out of 2 funds now, as you know.
Okay.
But it's amazing. You know, I was a corporate guy forever,
yeah,
overseeing acquisitions
sure,
and strategy.
Sure.
So it's a big change for me personally.
Sure.
But you know, it's great. We've made 27 investments now in 3 years.
That's fantastic.
So we're at a really great pace.
Yeah.
Every month and a half, we're investing in a new company.
That's great.
And you know, learning a new skill set here.
Yeah.
But have some great investors, many of whom dial into this show every week. And
sure.
you know, I think it's we're doing really well. Some standout companies already emerging within that portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling really good about this like very vertically focused thesis,
yeah,
and you know, continue to talk to entrepreneurs very regularly and find new companies to invest in.
And you do a great job of that. You are all over. I mean, Bridget and I are like, how does this guy do? Does he have his own private jet or what?
Because I just cloned myself.
I think you have, because
I have a twin brother you don't know about. Yeah.
You will be at one event, and the very next morning you'll be on the other side of the country at another event. We're like, how does he do this?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You're doing a great job doing that. So just for the audience that may not be as familiar with the fund as we are, tell us kind of the impetus behind this, and what's the common denominator? It's the fact that dealers are able to invest in companies, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of related to the book, as you said, right? I mean, I was always amazed, 25 years in the industry, that no one had written a book about what the life might look like for the dealer in 5 or 10 years. So I took the opportunity to write that, and as I was thinking through that, I was like, you know, started to meet more entrepreneurs that were really innovating in this space. I mean, the book's thesis and our fund thesis is we're seeing more change now. The pace of change is accelerating. We're going to see more change in the next 5 or 10 years than the dealers have seen in the last 100. Wow. Some things are very durable. The franchise dealer model is very durable and defensible, but the change is accelerating, right? We see in the news, like software-defined vehicle and electrification and you know, all these things. Agency model we heard a lot about during COVID.
Right.
So I think that, you know, navigating around that is important for dealers to have a thought partner, but also for those dealers that want to step up and invest early stage, we give them a conduit to do so, right? So some of what we're investing in allows them to hedge if there are disruptors to their business. And in the dealer fund, our second fund, we're really helping them invest in solutions that help their business, either generate more revenue, find efficiencies, or take out costs.
Right.
And we are a bloodhound looking for entrepreneurs who are really focused on helping dealers succeed.
That's fantastic. And how many times has a dealer said to you or said to me, you know, that company just sold for $400 million, and I was the one that helped them get off the ground and helped them get started, and maybe I did some ads for them or testimonials, or I put them in my 24 stores or what have you.
Yep.
Now they're able to invest in that company.
That's right. All the time you hear that, and I mean, many of the audience today is going like, rolling their eyes, saying, in the early days of that company, you know, that button on the homepage is because of me. That was the feedback that I gave.
That's right.
And dealers really haven't had a way, and we're finding much more. Forget our fund for a minute. Many more dealers are stepping up and investing directly into these companies now, which I think is a great dynamic. It's good for entrepreneurs. They have more access to capital. But as you sort of said, it really aligns the dealers, who are the customers, the paying customers, with the entrepreneurs, because if those entrepreneurs do get an exit, then the dealers get a double win, right? They win from the solution, but they also win on the exit if they can participate on the way out.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. And it could have come at a better time, because in the last 3 years, as you know, dealers are cash rich, right? They're sitting with a whole bunch of what do they call it? Dry powder?
Right, dry powder.
on the sideline,
That's right? Yeah, I mean, and many, as you know, are like holding that powder dry to go buy more stores. We're seeing a lot of acquisition activity. Even now that profitability is starting to drift down a little bit, we're still seeing that you talk to the buy-sell brokers, many of whom are in the studio here, and they say that they're as busy as ever.
Unbelievable.
There's a lot of pent-up demand, right? So we're going to see another good year, healthy year for buy-sell. But yeah, if a dealer isn't buying stores, they have printed more profitability than they probably ever have in the history of their dealerships.
Right.
And to diversify a little bit makes sense.
Right.
Many have real estate portfolios, but I think more and more of them reach out to folks like us to say, like, what's prudent. They get to invest in things they understand.
Sure.
They get to help uniquely. As you said, sometimes bring them either into their stores and or introduce them to their 20 groups or friends or whatever it might be. So it's great that it is a virtuous circle, right?
Sure.
When we find stuff that really uniquely helps dealers, and then they can uniquely help the entrepreneur,
Yep.
it's a great marketplace we're effectively building.
There's no question about it. And dealers are entrepreneurs themselves, so they get it. They know what those those new startups are going through, right?
Yep.
And they can help them, not just in the capital as we talked about, but also in the advisement area, right? I'm sure that a number of these people sit on advisory boards, if not the board of directors of these companies, right?
Yeah, part of our secret sauce is the fact that before we ever invest, we get these entrepreneurs that we're looking at to pitch to a subset of our dealers.
Great idea.
And then we get their honest feedback afterwards. And sometimes they say, Steve, don't touch this one. Other dealers are not going to buy this.
Sure.
Or they may say, there's something there, it's got good bones, but it needs some tweaks, right?
Sure.
And we can provide that feedback back to the entrepreneur. So when these entrepreneurs see us and they say, oh wow, you've got owners who have 40 stores on this call with me giving me advice.
Yeah, that's
and we can do that vetting
is
before we
huge.
invest.
That's right.
I mean, it really does kind of de-risk these investments. So the typical venture capital model is you have a lot of failures in your portfolio.
Yeah.
In the dealer fund, we don't think we're going to have very many failures because by the time we invest, we've already de-risked it for the most part.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
That's right. What are some of the ones that I don't want to say you're most proud of, because that's like asking a parent which child you like the best.
Right.
You love them all, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what are some of the high points right now that you feel like, wow, we invested in this company, they're doing great, we're very proud of it. It's kind of our our flagship or one of our flagship companies right now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to pick and choose your favorite children, right? Because
Sure.
we love them all.
Right.
The ones that are further along that dealers may have heard of is WarCloud's, our prototypical
Sure.
one. I mean, to me, very, very, very infrequently do you find a vendor or partner who is a no-brainer for dealers, and we hear this all the time.
Yeah.
They take out costs, they allow dealers to make more revenue at the same time. Dealers get paid quicker by automating warranty processing back to the automaker. So
great.
that one's doing exceptionally well.
That's great.
We were lucky enough to invest in his first round.
Yeah. And that's Jim Roach's company.
Jim Roach's
right?
company.
Great guy.
Great
Just
guy,
fantastic.
great company,
Yeah.
doing wonderful
Yep.
things. And
Yep.
eventually when we're ready, which isn't for a while, but when we are ready to exit, he'll have a great exit. It'll be a great story. And many of our dealers already directly invested as well, and they'll do very well. Another one we more recently invested in is a company that well, Vincue, in the inventory management and pricing area.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they also are already a very successful business.
Right.
But now that we and other VCs are in there, we're really helping them accelerate much more quickly.
That's great.
And we have other companies that are in our pipeline right now that are going to be exciting. We can't quite announce yet, but when we do, I think dealers are going to look at it and go, oh wow, you really are identifying companies that uniquely help us, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we want to drive more profitability.
Right.
I know how dealers think, and if we can either get them more revenue and hopefully take out costs.
Right.
At the end of the month, if they are making more profit, then we've succeeded, and we're looking for companies that can move the needle.
Right. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, and I'm sure you already have a full lineup of companies that are calling you going, I want first dibs on some of these companies, right?
Yeah.
Because I like the technology, I like what they're doing. So when you go to market with this, right? I would imagine companies or people are calling you going, we want first shot at this.
Yeah, and both sides, right? We see 60 companies a month.
Okay.
So we for a small team,
Sure.
I probably have calls, literally like Zoom calls with 10 entrepreneurs a day.
Wow.
30-minute Zoom calls,
Yeah.
and we just kind of grind through that. That's constant.
Yeah.
And then we pluck out the gems, right? But to your point, people want access to our deal flow.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seeing 60 companies a month in this space.
That's incredible.
So
Wow.
and they can be very early. It could be like literally someone who's still got a corporate job who's thinking about making the jump into entrepreneurship and wants some of our feedback on whether or not dealers are going to, this is going to resonate with dealers. But I think that on the other side, like you said, investors want access to that deal flow. And when we find these little gems, right, we want to help them as much as we're able. And our investors have first dibs at direct investing as well. So our fund may invest, but many of our investors also, I know the reason that they're investing with us is to get visibility into these companies and direct invest alongside us.
That's fantastic. So talk to us. NADA is right around the corner, as you know. I know you're probably speaking at a number of different events out there, right? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I will, and I'll be by the booth as well, and we'll
Yeah,
have an interview
great.
out there as well. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Sure.
You know, NAD. My favorite thing about NAD is getting out to the periphery, right? Getting into the different halls,
Sure.
and going out to the guy by the hot dog stand, or going out to the guy right on the periphery who's got the 10 by 10 booth, right?
right.
Who scraped together enough savings to do that.
Sure.
So those are the entrepreneurs I want to meet who are first time at NADA. So
Right.
I go through the exhibitor list ahead of time. I build my list. I reach out to them ahead of time and try to find some time with them. But
Sure.
you know, hopefully through that process, we find 3 to 5 companies that look promising that we can really uniquely help.
Yeah.
But I'm less interested in going really to the big booths. I'm more interested in getting out to the periphery
Right.
and seeing these entrepreneurs.
Right. That's where you thrive.
That's where I try to
among
thrive.
those-
Yeah,
right,
spend
in those
time.
companies.
Right.
Hey, when COVID hit and all the rage was digital retailing, or what Brian Pash calls modern retailing, I guess, and which is probably a better term for it. But there were so many different companies that were jumping in on that, saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the way it's going to be, and it's not going to go back, and everybody's going to buy a car and their jammies the way we see Carvana do it." A, where does that stand today? And B, do you think it truly is the future of the industry? Because it seems like it kind of came back down again, and everyone's coming into dealerships and.
Yeah, so it's a long topic, but I'll try to do a short version
I
here.
know it is.
It's during COVID, many dealers were shut down.
Right.
So they all scrambled and said, I need some solution to allow a consumer to come to my website and effectively buy a car, whether they're going to come and do curbside pickup or do driveway delivery. So those digital retailing tools did exceptionally well.
I know they did.
Exceptionally well during COVID.
And some of the exits were.
And some of the exits were really
incredible.
good. Some were opportunistic, right?
Yeah.
Now the big strategics have all like kind of put that puzzle piece. They've acquired the company that they want. So the big guys, the Reynolds, the CDK, the JD Powers, the Coxes have a solution. And I think that after, as we've come off of COVID, a lot of dealers have said, oh well, we had this opportune moment where we were testing whether consumers want driveway delivery, and you ask the average dealer, like, I don't have any consumers. There's no demand for this. They're still coming in the showroom,
Right.
which comes back to like the franchise dealer model is actually really defensible.
That's right.
The outside thing is this Amazon Hyundai thing, right? So, and I'm encouraging dealers keep a watchful eye on this, right?
I agree.
If there is traction, and the stats I like to tell dealers is that now we've got 200 million Amazon Prime subscribers in the U.S.
Yeah.
That's more than every household in the U.S.
Yeah.
So we've got multiple
true.
Amazon Prime subscribers per household in the U.S.
Wow, that's
We
amazing.
also have something like 60% of all product searches now don't start on Google, they start on Amazon.
Wow.
And I know I'll self-reference, but when I get on Amazon and I search for a product and it's not available, I get really frustrated. Well, I do, because
feel let down.
I'm so
What do
used
you
to the value proposition, right? So
Sure.
I think that next day delivery or same day delivery and the return policy, this is going to resonate with consumers, right? So Amazon has unlimited resources.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to be able to spend money and iterate on this thing.
Yep.
I would suspect this first 6 months will be pretty clunky, right?
Yeah,
We're going to hear a lot of consumers who aren't happy potentially, et cetera.
Right.
But they've said that they're starting with 18 Hyundai stores.
Yeah.
They're going to expand to many more mid-year.
Right.
And then by the end of the year, they're going to have other automakers on here.
Yep.
And when Amazon reaches out to a Toyota store or a GM store
they're raising
in a
their
city,
hands. Oh my God.
why wouldn't you
Why
get
would
on
you
board,
not do
right?
that? Right.
So I think inevitably they're going to play some part.
Yeah.
Many people dismiss them and say, "Oh, is this going to be another lead provider?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about that, right? I think that if I had a chance as a consumer to say, "Hey, I can get a car delivered to my driveway.
Yeah.
I have 7 days to decide if I want to return it."
Yeah.
I mean, for some small segment of consumers, the Carvana value prop resonated.
I know.
Imagine
That's
if that
right.
was
That's right.
Amazon's logo with all their trust
Yeah.
and 200 million Amazon Prime subscribers.
That's
So
right.
I think digital retailing is maybe going to see another tailwind now, but maybe mostly because Amazon's going to be promoting this very heavily.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you. I think that there's a lot more to unpack here, and we're going to see it being unpacked during this year and beyond. Because we've known for some time that Bezos has wanted to get into retail automotive.
Over a decade.
I know.
Over a decade.
I know. Very interesting. Very interesting. Steve Greenfield, CEO and founder of Automotive Ventures and host of the Future of Automotive right here at the CBT Automotive Network. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule. Are you jumping on a plane right now to go speak somewhere?
I am actually not flying till NADA.
That is unbelievable.
Imagine that.
I don't know if I believe you, but thank you so much.
See you out there.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.